Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Continuing with resolution number 13 on the consent calendar, resolution from the entire council urging Nassau Reinsurance Group and all the Hartford employers to reconsider any cost-cutting measures that involve replacing jobs with poverty wage jobs, and also stands with the members of the Cleaning Workers Union 32BJ in their fight for the good jobs for Hartford residents. Item number 14, a resolution requesting that pursuant to paragraph 13 of Executive Order 7I, the provisions of Charter Section 10-5 are hereby suspended by the deliberations pertaining to the adoption of the city budget for fiscal year 2021, and pursuant to paragraph 1 of Executive Order 7B, the legislative body of the city of Hartford shall comply with all requirements pertaining to notice, including but not limited to notice and posting on the city website all submission items at least 24 hours prior to the public meeting for which the item has been submitted or shall be considered. Item 15, resolution supporting State Representative Vargas's proposed bill number 5160, an act requiring the payment of a reward to Patricia Bidigi Delesio, calling for the state budget to be amended for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021, to require the state to pay the award for $3,000 offered for the apprehension of Robert Nelson Baum and to Patricia Bidigi Alessio for her role in his capture and conviction. Item number 16, which is a resolution supporting the Children's Museum of Hartford move to the former Hartford College for Women campus and call upon Hartford State Delegation to seek funding to return the museum to Hartford.
I second the motion.
We have a motion that's been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Councilman Gale.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd just like to comment quickly on item number 2, which is the mayor's proposed resolution, which this council is adopting unanimously by consent. And just note for the public that the governor gave all municipalities 2 options. One option being that you could delay property tax payments and reduce the interest rate from 18% to 3%. The second option is that you could just simply defer all property tax payments to those taxpayers who claim a hardship for 90 days with no interest. And the city of Hartford and this council is adopting option number 2. For those people that are facing a hardship, we're going with the governor's second option of no interest payments, 90 days deferment for any taxpayer.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Item number 12, do we have a substitute for that? Are we amending that at all?
Madam President, there was a replacement that was submitted to the clerk's office that was sent out to the entire council.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Councilman Bermudez.
Are there any other discussions? Any other discussions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bermudez. Councilwoman Bermudez.
Do people hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Clark.
Yes.
Councilman Gale.
Yes.
Councilman LeBron.
Yes.
Councilman Mictum.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti.
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez.
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President, I would like to make the motion that we refer the following items to said committee. Item number 6, which is the resolution requesting to superimpose the name of Pearline Green at the intersection of Brook Street and Albany Avenue to the intersection of Brook and Guilford Street to be displayed as Pearline Green Way to the Public Building Committee with a hearing date of April 20th, 2020. We'd also like to make note that all public hearings that were scheduled on the March 16th public hearing schedule have been moved to the new date of April 20th, 2020 at 7 p.m.
I second the motion.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mictum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I would like to make the motion that we receive the following items. Item number 3 of the Quality of Life and Public Safety Committee, communication discharging the resolution from committee requesting to superimpose the name of Pearline Green at the intersection of Brook and Albany Avenue. Item number 4 from the Quality of Life and Public Safety Committee, communication discharging the resolution from committee authorizing the city of Hartford to apply for and accept a grant from the state of Connecticut Department of Transportation Highway Safety Office for the amount of $58,750.36 for distracted driving.
I second the motion.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Are you hearing me now? Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mictum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we postpone the following item. Item number 5, an ordinance making it unlawful for any person to sell or offer the sale of any flavored tobacco product.
I second the motion.
A motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Any discussions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
Yes.
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mictum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we also postpone the following items. Proposed ordinances. Item number 9, ordinance making general fund appropriations to reflect project costs relative to public improvements in the Wisconsin's Early Reading Lab School. Item number 10, ordinance making general fund appropriations to reflect project costs relative to public improvements in the E.B. Kennelly School. Item number 11, ordinance making general fund appropriations to reflect project costs relative to public improvements in the Wish Elementary School, with all hearing dates for Monday, April 20th, 2020.
I second the motion.
Motion has been made and properly second. Are there any discussions? Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes.
Councilman Gale,
yes,
Councilman LeBron,
Yes.
Councilman Mictum,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosado,
Yes.
Councilwoman Rossetti,
Yes.
Councilman Sanchez,
Yes.
Councilwoman Surgeon.
Yes.
Motion pass.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, I'd like to make the motion that we withdraw the following item number 17, which is resolution requesting that the city of Hartford adopt all such property tax relief as allowed by the state of Connecticut.
Second the motion.
Are there any discussions? A motion has been made and properly second. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilwoman Bermudez,
Yes.
Councilman Clark,
Yes, but I don't believe that this requires a vote to withdraw as long as the authors of the resolution agree.
this author agrees.
Agreed. Mr. Majority Leader, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a brief note, that item number 17 was introduced January 13th, 2020, which deemed approved by the 60-day rule, and that concludes all the items on our agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. I'd like to point a couple of comments that I have for the public. As of April 8th, there are no known confirmed COVID-19 cases among shelter clients in the Greater Hartford or Central Connecticut CAN, which is the Coordinated Access Network. However, as a preventative measure, our 200 shelter clients have been relocated into area hotels, and we will continue to work with the partners to develop additional safeguards to protect our most vulnerable population. The City of Hartford is partnering with the University of Hartford to provide free temporary housing for over 200 first responders and other essential staff during this crisis. As a region, we're working hard to prepare for any and every possible scenario to safeguard residents. The Connecticut Convention Center is being established as a Hartford Hospital auxiliary site with a 646 bed capacity. And Governor Lamont has extended his essential business orders by 3 additional weeks, requiring all non-essential businesses to remain closed until May 20th. The city has enrolled our elderly residents into a tax relief program while extending the date for new applicants to August 15th. We are also taking measures to provide additional relief to our families through various council resolutions, which will be voted and introduced over the next few meetings. I'd like now to take the time to extend to any council member who would like to address the public. Councilman Mixtum?
Thank you, Madam President. Just briefly, also sort of an informational announcement. On Friday, the governor's executive order concerned the rights of renters, of tenants. And I think it's important to just get the word out as much as possible. There are, per the governor's executive order, there can be no notices to quit, which is how an eviction begins, before July 1st, none at all. April rent is automatically extended, the due date for your April rent, even if you thought you were late, automatically extended 60 days. So that means that you have until June, the beginning of June, to pay that rent, and it wouldn't be considered late. May rent can be extended if the tenant requests it before it's due in writing, and that would also be a 60-day extension. And lastly, if you had a security deposit that's more than your monthly rent, so suppose your rent is $1,000 and the security deposit was $1,500, you can request to the landlord in writing that the extra amount over the rent be used to pay whatever rent you owe. That was all in the governor's executive order Friday, and it's, I think, important for people who are renting in the city of Hartford. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to address Councilwoman Surgeon?
Thank you, Madam President. Just want to remind the public that we're still in the process of collecting and sending information out for the 2020 census. We really need to have everyone in our community respond to the census. If we don't respond to the census, it affects all of our monies that comes into the city. So it's really important whether you are a citizen, if you are a permanent resident, you do need to fill out the census. We really need everyone to do so. I just want to remind all the anyone who's listening, don't forget to send out that census card, or you can go online and reply to the census. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman,
Council President, may I?
yes, Councilwoman Bermudez.
Thank you, Council President. I just wanted to highlight the information that Councilman Josh McDum provided in reference to Governor Lamont's executive order in reference to the renters not having to pay at this time. And I wanted to give him a personal shout out because he was the initial drafter of that legislation. He was able to organize other state representatives and mayor and our own mayor, Luke Bronin, and others behind it. So we appreciate that initial effort in spearheading that and having such collaboration and support. I also wanted to highlight for those who are watching the other executive order, which was Governor Lamont spoke with utility companies to make sure that there would be no shutoff notices. We have been receiving calls from residents in Hartford who've been very concerned, not just Hartford, but throughout the state of Connecticut, been concerned, not knowing how they're going to pay their utilities. I'm on the phone, so sometimes that happens. How they're going to pay their utilities. And Governor Lamont did have a conversation with utility companies, so folks don't have to pay until April 30th. And it looks like that may be extended, but we'll be receiving updates on that front. The last item that I wanted to mention was for those who have been asking about where can they volunteer, how they can help. There is a shortage of volunteers at this time at Food Share. And so that's one outlet that really needs support. There's been a lot of, because people have lost their jobs, there's been a lot of uncertainty with food and where it's going to be coming from. And so that's a great outlet for the community, Food Share. So for those who can donate, whether it's funds or time, understanding that not everybody could do that, but for those that are interested in volunteering, that's one outlet, as is Mutual Aid Hartford. That's another outlet that's doing really great work with food insecurity as people are trying to look for ways to feed their families. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Bermudez. Councilman Clark.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Madam President. I just wanted to remind everyone in the city of Hartford to remember to practice the social distancing as well. If you happen to have some symptoms and you do get turned away by one of the hospitals, please just don't go home. Make sure you call a medical provider. You can call an urgent care center. You can go to one of our many community health centers in the city of Hartford to schedule an appointment to get yourself checked out. So it's very important that when you do return home, that you call to schedule an appointment so that you can be seen by a provider. Also, too, there are 3 churches in the city of Hartford that have collaborated together to provide free meals, and they are working on week 2 this week. The churches are the Citadel of Love, Phillips Metropolitan CME, as well as the Mount Olive Church Ministries. Both Mount Olive and Phillips are on Main Street. The Citadel of Love is on Barber Street. Mondays and Saturdays, Phillips Metropolitan is providing food, hot meals at 6 p.m. Tuesdays and Thursdays, the Mount Olive Church Ministries are providing food on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the Citadel of Love is providing food on Wednesdays and Fridays. It's free for every resident of the city of Hartford, not just those that live in the North End or around the vicinity of those churches. but for any member, any person, resident, family that needs a free meal, please come out to one of those churches. I will have post again the flyer on my Facebook page so you can see they do start at 6 o'clock and it is first come, first serve. And we're going to be doing that for as long as we can. But very many thanks to the pastor of Phillips, Pastor Jeremy Williams, the pastor of Mount Olive, Pastor Deion Watkins, the pastor of Citadel of Love, Pastor Marshall Muntz, and also to State Representative Brandon McGee for collaborating together to do this effort for our city.
Thank you, Councilman Clark. Anyone else? Once again, I want to inform everyone to stay home. If you can, stay home and safe. Practice social distancing. God bless us all through this. We will get through this. And without any other further business to discuss, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.